on?
I mean, I've just restarted the stream.
Okay.
It looks better. I don't know. We're gonna try.
Yeah, let me see if I can get back in. Okay, it's the same,
Hang on, I'm gonna wave my cursor around. Oh no, I'm not capturing cursor. Why am I not capturing cursor? One moment. I think I can change that. I'm supposed to be capturing cursor. Oh, it's just because the game's frozen, maybe. Okay, hang on. If I wiggle my cursor around, can you see that? There's probably latency, but like...
I know Discord won't capture.
I mean on Twitch.
Okay, let me...
To all you Twitch heads, can you see our cursor moving?
I see the rotation. I don't see a cursor, but I see the rotation of the little text bibly solidly.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Oh, there's cursor.
Okay.
Okay, so UB sees a black screen. Can you hear us, UB? That may be a useless question right now, but...
If stream goes down and back up, it does that sometimes. Ugh, every day I wake up.
Why do we have to have problems?
I'm just fucking hexed recently. We can't get Ebe working. We can't... VLR's been... acting the fuck up recently. I don't know.
On International Women's Day.
On International Women's Day.
International fucking Women's Day.
Okay.
I can't believe this.
I think people are back.
I think so. I'm going to continue if that's okay with everybody.
All right, we all ready? We strapped in?
Yep.
Okay. Alice monologue moment?
Yep. My father is Egyptian, but my mother is French.
I'm gonna cut some more pita bread.
Okay.
Enjoy your pita bread. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation, and married shortly thereafter. When I was free, we all moved to the US. My father was a scientist, and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which was why we moved. Both of my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. So, this is an entirely stupid tangent. So by her 9th birthday, so did she move there slightly before to, or does that reveal context of how this game uses by my? Because in that case, I may need to readjust how I look at other parts of the timeline I formed in my head.
I think that there is some generous rounding happening when she says 6 years.
I see.
Yeah.
I love numbers. I love numbers too much is my problem. I love numbers.
Because, yeah, they moved when she was 3, so it was probably, like, about 6 years.
Yeah. The thing is, I love numbers, and there's that fucking stupid 2 meters or whatever thing in the elevators.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I'm never gonna be over it because we don't have an answer.
Yeah, the elevators one is fucking dumb. I don't understand.
That was just Uchikoshi not understanding numbers properly, but I need to know. Anyway,
yeah,
that was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school and told me about this fucked up elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because I think it would be... like, I'm trying to do the math in my head, but like... because I think she's like right around like my age, so like it would be like 2005. So you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might be just Alice talking about what she perceived.
Yeah, and I mean...
Your mother might be just trying very hard not to, like, show struggles.
In context, she just says, I had no trouble, and she was talking about the language barrier mainly.
Mm-hmm.
So it might just be a poor choice of phrasing, I hope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. My father had always been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped.
The fact that she didn't learn about what actually happened for years is insane to me.
Yeah, what did she learn that day, then?
Like, just that he was gone?
Yeah, did she learn that, like... I don't know, like, what did they tell her at 9?
Maybe, like, he's not around for a bit, hopefully we'll find him soon, or something?
Yeah,
or just, like, he went missing?
Yeah, that's what I presume. That, like, the truth was about the terrorist, but that she probably knew he's missing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her, as a single mother alone in a country without any where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and in every line of her face I could see exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I missed my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. God, that's so good.
Yeah.
We don't know why it disconnected.
Yeah, it just did.
And when I turned the stream back on, it worked. So, I don't know.
Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did especially well in math. I earned a full-ride scholarship straight out of high school and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Internal Security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state.
I mean, Kevin, they do kind of explain her clothes situation a little earlier in the game. It's not, like, entirely clear. It's just designer was horny, but, like, some of it is deliberately to throw people off of what her important job is.
Yeah.
And she is
not
actually
what
Egyptian. Her dad
spies
is Egyptian.
do of just to look as most normal as possible. But if you dress like this, no one expects you're a spy.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, got lost while I was trying to fix a stream thing.
I think, I Could Tell is the next one you didn't see?
Yeah. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons. Although at the time, that name didn't mean anything to me, and I asked my boss, hey, are you mispronouncing that? That's not how you say it. And my boss was like, No, but that's how they say it. And I was like, oh, that's stupid. And they were like, yeah.
Yeah.
See, because I thought that was like my first test, but it wasn't.
She was being hazed.
They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. And now they ended up with Dio.
So something clearly went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The Myrmidons apparently believe that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now, at last, I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left.
Well,
Well,
Dio is a pot of soup to me. We know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or his age.
they make a bunch of fucking clones and you can't even tell what he looks like. I know that I
All
know,
of them
but
look
like,
the same to me, and I thought that was just, normal, but they're fucking clones.
I thought it was just because, like, he's a blonde white man.
yeah.
Precisely. The Myrmidons are closely associated with the cult known as Free the Soul.
I can't believe Delta used to have that haircut.
And then he shaved it.
Yeah, like, how old is this photo? He looks like, based on his hands, he looks like he might be a little bit, like, I don't think he's super young in this.
Mm-hmm.
His face shape and his hands would indicate he's at least probably 40 or 50 in this picture.
We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding. But trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult's leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. He always says, I've committed no crimes, and we have to
Yeah.
just walk away.
Christoph Gavin type defense. If I don't admit to the crimes, you can't stick me. That's how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Brother is supposed to be fairly advanced in years, and rumors say he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. He does his crosswords. Bastard.
He does all of those little app games that say that they keep your mind young and more good.
Yeah. You know he's doing all the fucking New York Times games every morning, and he's getting them all first try. It's crazy.
He gets Wordle first try every day.
Yeah.
It's weird, honestly.
At that point, I hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. Then, one day, I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. I headed out immediately. God, it looks so goofy, just seeing it fully in the desert.
Yeah.
On the way there, my car had some engine trouble and stalled out.
Yeah, Alice appeared in the first game as a gag at the end, and then they made VLR and they're like, shit, we need to explain the mummy.
Yeah.
Girl, put
you
shoes
see
on.
this in 999. It's like, you learn about this Egyptian mummy in, like, no, just for missions, we assume.
Yeah. Unclear. Supposedly she had a reason for looking like that. At the time. Her not wearing shoes is stressing me out. You don't want to be on,
Same.
like, desert rock and sand in bare feet.
Yeah,
You
that'll
just-
burn your feet.
You fully don't. Under no circumstances. There's a reason that sandals got invented in, like, desert regions.
I was trying to decide what to do when a SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess who was behind the steering wheel. Clover.
You didn't give us a guess, you just said it.
Well, it's my fucking monologue.
Snake.
Snake behind the wheel.
The driving might have been better, all things considered.
It probably really would have. That was the first time we met. There were 4 other people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, I got what was just about the last answer I'd expected.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have... I would have guessed what they were doing that day.
They told me they'd been locked up inside of the very building I'd been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in pursuit of the people who kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along.
Forgot Light's codename.
Need to know what that discussion was like.
Yeah. I thought the joke you were making was that inexplicably Solid Snake was driving the car. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it was him. He was there.
Huh. A nonary game, huh?
You get 1 guess, Sigma.
Yeah. Solid Snake.
How did you know?
Iroquois Pliskin. That's what it is, right?
Something like
His
that.
like pseudonym that one time. Because that's actually no, I think I have seen that because it's Metal Gear Solid 2 and he's like, no, I'm not Snake. I'm
Yeah,
somebody else.
I'm another guy.
I'm another guy. Don't worry about it.
My hope was to find the people they were chasing, who I was certain were Myrmidons, and confront them about misnaming their militia.
I also, Grace, you mentioned you want to know what the discussion is. I want to know how it was a short discussion.
Yeah.
I want to know how you succinctly describe sort of anything that either side of them were up to.
Well, it's a short discussion to convince them
Yeah.
to let her in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Explaining the situations were not necessarily short.
This is true. And everyone probably at that point is like, fuck it.
Yeah.
The mummy,
The
sure.
least
We've all-
absurd part of our day.
Yeah,
like-
honestly.
You know, Seven and Junpei wanted her, and so they could ask her about about Ice 9.
This is true. And she's, with the day Alice is having, she's like, sure, whatever, I guess that's true.
Maybe I am Alice.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't know.
In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, I took Clover and her companions to SOIS headquarters. We decided that involving the police
We-
would only complement things.
No, that was yesterday.
Oh, fuck.
After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. So, rhetorical question. Light was still in the Free the Soul robes when Alice got in the car. I think that was a fun conversation.
It was like, I don't know how to tell you this, but all of my clothes were gone.
They put him on another guy and then blew that guy up.
So like, I don't have much choice, man.
Man, that sounds like a fake thing you would say.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Really putting into words what
My
they did with his clothes.
got put on the other guy, and then they got blew up, so you can't see them.
It's like, that all seems quite extreme when you put it like that. Hi, Nine!
My clothes go to another school in Canada.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say it does kind of. It is very girlfriend in Canada. God.
I think
Wait.
maybe didn't finish reading.
Sorry.
Yeah. Did After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had... Yeah, we did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years ago was connected to Free the Soul. There was also a sixth-person SUV, although they weren't riding in it, per se. 9-9.
I guess it depends how you define riding in a car. He was a passenger.
Yeah, she took them to the headquarters, and Junpei still thought she was a mummy secret agent.
Exactly.
You know. What else are mummies to do?
She woke up and started working for the Department of Defense.
Mm-hmm. As one does.
Yeah. I guess you could make the argument, if you're Junpei, like get it. I'm not saying this makes sense, but like put yourself in the mind of Junpei in the fucking day that he's just had.
Who has super wet socks.
The wettest socks that have ever been. And they're probably all dusty now because of the desert.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You never want to mix
socks.
Wet fabric with sand. If you're Junpei, you're probably thinking, well, obviously, if a mummy like came back from the dead and woke up and started walking around, the government wouldn't want word of that to get out. So of course they're gonna take her in to keep an eye on her, and like create an identity for her, so that the secret of Ice 9 doesn't...
He is kind of full-on conspiracy theory brain.
They've kind of done a lot to put him in the mindset.
Yeah, like, he had to accept that telepathy exists and can save people from having died in the past.
Yeah.
Like, truly, whatever. Sure, a mummy is in the CIA. Yeah.
Her ability to freeze at room temperature really helps with espionage. Yeah, exactly.
A middle-aged man, who I'll just call H for now, for no reason, had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other four, he had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years earlier.
They won't tell you his name, but they will show you his face.
Uh-huh. They're gonna assume you have prosopagnosia like him.
Yeah.
This is a twist specifically made from Adrian playing VLR before playing 999.
Yep.
Did you?
No.
Yeah, I know you played ZTD
I played
first.
ZTD first.
Yeah.
Also, I found out that a friend of mine in my fucking Pathfinder group picked up and played Zero Time Dilemma without knowing any of the other Zero Escape games.
Oh no.
So cool.
I was explaining the game to the group, and she was
That's
like,
what you were yelling no about.
Yeah.
You were... last night, Adrian was on a call, and I overheard you, just out of nowhere, like you describing Ambidex to somebody, and how they described the plot of Back to the Future without naming the movie or any of the characters. I was like overhearing you saying that, and then like a minute later, I hear you yell no.
That's what the no is about.
I now
so
have
I
context.
explained ZTD and how it turned into such a shit show, and she was like, now everything that I experienced playing that game makes sense.
Yeah.
God. I just think all games should come with numbers. Like, I don't care if it ruins the fucking flow of the titles. Give the games fucking numbers.
Yeah, like make it just like Zero Escape 3 Zero Time Dilemma or something like that. So you can still have your funny title, but then you have to like fucking Fire Emblem does that. Technically.
No.
Well, they're not like it, but people know the numbers.
Yeah, but that's...
Yeah, but
also like you don't even play
I
those
wanted
as a
to be
series,
on
which
the
is
box.
Yeah, they're Final
Yeah.
Fantasies. Not
Yeah.
like Zero Escape. Zero
Yeah.
Escape definitely needs numbers.
yeah.
We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player on the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul.
I
Disagree.
No, sorry, I'm responding to UB. Okay, so the Fire Emblem cases don't have any of the numbers, but everyone who plays Fire Emblem games knows all the fucking numbers for all the games, and refers to them mostly by the numbers more so than by the names. Like, that
I would not
that
say
is where
that
I
is
was.
entirely truthful. Most people do refer to them by their actual names.
Not
Like,
when I go online and I look at people talking about Fire Emblem
I
or how
follow
people
a lot
tag
of-
Fire Emblem games.
by tagging, I still follow a lot of people
Okay.
who talk about Fire Emblem, and it's usually they talk about them by their like sacred stones.
Okay, that has not
genealogy.
been my experience. I see
Yeah.
large numbers of people talking about them just by the numbers.
That is fascinating how we have somehow
don't
followed
know.
very different people in terms of how they talk about the games.
Yeah, but I never followed like active Fire Emblem fans because I didn't like them. So maybe that's just an older thing. But
I think that is the case.
yeah, in my experience, when people like, okay, fine, whatever. Then forget what I said. It's not important. But like, my point is that there are series that do number the games.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also have subtitles. Maybe Fire Emblem was a bad example, but that is a thing that exists that
Yeah,
other
yeah.
series do.
And everything should forever, please.
Please.
Yeah. It is weird that Final Fantasy and Persona are ones that are famous for being numbered, considering that they famously don't and have to be, nor should they be played in order for the most part.
Yeah.
I truly
Like,
know
nobody-
nothing about like what the Final Fantasy numbers mean. Like as far as I know, like
It's just the order that they made
all
the games
the
in.
games are entirely different things. Like 14 is like an MMORPG and like 7 is like just RPG, and I do not know what anything is. And like 7 is the most recent or something. I don't
well,
know
they're
what's
remaking
going on.
7.
They're remaking 7, which
Yeah.
is why that's like the new ones. They're up to like 16, right?
Yep, I think.
Like I don't see, like I only see talk mainly about like 14 and 7, and it just
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
like a weird space
They're the
because I
most
know
popular
nothing
ones.
about it.
I remember when. Well, Final Fantasy VII Remake is like mostly out, but it's not done, right? They're releasing it in like 3 parts.
I think so, yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's coming out. It is in the process of coming out. There's like
think that's
2 out of
cool.
3 Final Fantasy VII Remake games are done, I think. Like the second one like just came out. So they're like, it's in 3 parts, so some of it is out, but not all of it. So yeah, but like, yeah, it's weird. Final Fantasy being numbered is weird just because they don't have like additional subtitles, right?
No.
Like the 7 remake ones do because they have to distinguish between the 3 of them, but like they don't do. It's not like Final Fantasy 7 whatever.
Yeah, if
sometimes they do.
If they make sequels to the specific games, they get subtitles. Like I think there's like Lightning's Revenge, Final Fantasy
Yeah.
13 2, Lightning's Revenge or some shit.
Oh, okay. Final Fantasy 13 too. I love that.
It's
I love
very
that.
silly.
Unironically, I think that's genius. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Again, know truly nothing about Final Fantasy besides osmosis from my timeline. It's just like,
Yeah.
huh.
I know,
Any
like,
question answered leaves me with way more questions.
yeah. There's 13, 13-2, and 13-3 Lightning Returns. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love that. I think that rocks.
She's back.
Yeah. 13-3, we're not fucking done yet.
Yeah, none of it seems very unfinal to Kevin's point.
I unironically love that.
It's so silly.
I think that, like, I don't know. But like, I love them numbering it because it's like, who the fuck who is going to start with 1 in Final Fantasy?
Insane people.
Who's gonna be like, oh no, I have to play the whole series.
I gotta play all of them.
Yeah. I was gonna make the comparison to Persona, but I actually do think that a lot of people will tell you to start with, like, at least, like, 2. A lot of people want you to play the first 2 Persona games. I know this. But I think that's also just more about... I think they have kind of a similar thing going on with Fire Emblem in that there was, like, a shift in the last several games that, like, older fans of the series don't like as much.
For sure.
I just know, having seen, there are a number of Persona fans who would prefer that more people play the earlier games. which is interesting.
No, not this. Well, the developer like person or yeah, no, not Uchikoshi is much smaller scale, and it's also not Atlas. But I don't know if there's like what level
Spectrum.
they may share something. They've both
Yeah.
been on a PlayStation. They've both been on the PlayStation Vita.
That's true. The Vita was such an era of gaming. I never
The
like
Vita
had one, but
bought
like
for 2 games at most.
yeah, everyone had a Vita for like a game. But my god, that game changed them forever.
Oh yeah.
A Vita it was like you were playing Persona, or you were playing Danganronpa, or you were playing I think there was one like Madoka Magica game that came out for the Vita.
Yes. It was only in Japanese though.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you were buying a Vita for one game, you didn't care about that.
Yeah, I know a
If
lot
you're
about
already
the
that type of
PSP Madoka Magica game, and I made one viral Tumblr post about it.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was
My
huge for
condolences.
Japanese VNs, and it was like, yeah, it was just like a lot of very influential VNs. I feel like were on the Vita. Just like life altering stuff. As much as I hate to say it, I do think Danganronpa was my first VN,
Yeah.
and also my
Yeah.
first like death game media.
Yeah,
so...
no, Danganronpa changed me, and every day I want to scrub its existence from
My
history.
first VN was
Visual novels.
Yes,
my first VN was Higurashi.
that is
Of
a.
course.
I mean,
At age of 12.
It's a
Uh-huh.
strong start, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, like, that really feels like throwing you in... I don't know. From what I know about When They Cry, I don't know that, like, I don't know if I would recommend that to a 12-year-old for their, like, starter VN, I guess is what
Well,
I
it was
what I
perfect
mean.
for me because it
Yeah.
has the right amount of edginess, and the characters
Yeah.
are all around my age, so everything felt normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, I liked it better when I was playing it as a young teen or tween than I did as reading it as an adult.
That makes sense.
Because I could understand...
Frankly, you gotta be 12 years old. That...
Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah, like, I think that is, like, one of the best ages to experience Higurashi at.
Yeah, there's some stuff where it's like if you didn't get into it as a child, it's just not like it's part of the reason that I think it's smarter for me to start When They Cry with Umineko. Just because
Thistle, what are you playing with?
I think I can eventually
What's in your mouth?
What do you have? Sissel! What are you looking at me like that for? Oh, it's plastic. Sorry, everybody.
Our cat.
But yeah,
I think I've only watched some of like
Oh, hang on, Grace. We can't hear-
Higurashi.
Okay, you're back. Sorry. Something pulled the HDMI cord for a sec.
Yeah, I think my only experience with Higurashi is watching some of an abridged series on YouTube.
Oh my god. Wasn't that just how we all got into things at 13 or whatever? You probably would have been younger in the golden age of abridged series, but...
Yeah, like 10, 11.
Yeah.
'Cause I know God, Grace lore, humiliating. There was the anime club at my local library.
Yeah.
And I joined like the
Classic.
youngest I could at like 10. And yeah, there's some things they shouldn't have shown me there.
Anime Club is famously a great idea to join and never leads to anything bad happening or you...
I just
like-
really feel you can't have an anime club that's 10 to 17. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
you can't show us the same things.
Yeah.
I watched an anime. I was in an anime club in high school, and like my last year or two, my last year we had an anime club, and it was actually kind of fun. 'Cause it was run by the librarian. It was just me and like a couple other people that I already knew, and so like we all already knew our own tastes and stuff.
Mm.
Then I went to anime club in college, and it was not good.
Yeah.
There was drama. People got mad at me
wow.
because
Or on High School Host Club.
Uh-oh.
That was the first anime that I saw. Barring, like,
Yeah.
you know, assorted
I
episodes
was
of,
about
like,
to say,
Pokemon.
like, there's no twincest in
Yeah,
Higurashi from what I
was
remember.
gonna have a question about
Yeah.
Higurashi.
There are twins. However, it's not. There's no twincest. However, they do kill each other sometimes.
Just for fun.
Oh, they're not having fun.
Yeah, they're having fun in the same way that I say that Umineko is clearly a game about a well-adjusted and happy family.
Absolutely.
Um,
The Sonozaki family is so well adjusted and normal.
Exactly.
God, what a feat. Dude, why can't that happen more often?
I need to watch more of Umineko. I really need to get back into the playthrough I was watching, because I was enjoying it, but it's one of those games that, like, kind of takes a while to, like,
Start.
yeah, to, like, get to what they're getting at. And I have enjoyed what I've seen so far, but I can still tell I'm kind of, like, in the prologue. And I know that I will enjoy it more than I currently do once it, like, starts. And I know it's, like, important for them to establish all the stuff they're establishing, and, like, you know, it's not Umineko's fault that I am having such a hard time, like, getting far into it. But it's also very, very long, and that's daunting, but...
There's just something really funny to me about this whole discussion with
Just-
Ace's just staring at us.
Yeah. The
This was
trifecta,
his anime club.
the trifecta of anime you'll see around age 13 that you shouldn't. Higurashi, Elfen Lied, Black Butler.
God.
I never saw the
As
Higurashi
a-
anime. I never saw Elfen Lied. I did see Black Butler.
I didn't
Oh, I
actually
feel
watch.
like that's the worst of them.
I
Yeah.
never actually watched the anime for Higurashi. I just read the visual novels.
The first handful of anime that I watched were Ouran High School Host Club. I know Black Butler was in there. Fruits Basket was one. I think Hetalia was right around that time. That was a pretty early
Oh,
one.
God.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't get into Hetalia. Like, my friend was really, really into it, tried to get me into it, and I'm so glad that I bounced right off of
You
it.
were
It's
you
so-
were spared.
I feel so blessed that I wasn't actually able to watch anime until I got into high school, so I could only
yeah.
read manga
That
or
saves you.
play VNs, basically.
I'm trying to think. There was just like randomly thrown in there. Like I did occasionally watch something good. Like I watched like Squid Girl at a young age, and that's just cute, honestly.
I
Like a
read
couple good ones in there
I
because it's like
read-
a kids anime, I think.
I read all of Lucky Star. Read, not watched, read. And it was pretty fun because it's all just fun little 4-comas. And unlike the anime, the girls stop being in high school and actually like go to college.
Whoa.
Like
Wow,
the
revolutionary.
manga actually goes through like their 4 years of high school and then them in college and stuff like
That's
that.
crazy.
So
That's
it's like,
actually wild. You don't see a lot of things do that. Just like
Yeah.
not even just anime in general, but like or manga or what have you. Just like
Settings,
stuff doesn't do that.
majorly.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly what UB said. But one I did get into that God I wish I never did was Mirai Nikki.
Oh my
Real
god.
bad. Real bad. I was like 11 at best.
I watched a few episodes of Mirai Nikki and I wanted to get into it because there was something wrong with me. And it just didn't take for me.
Hmm. Yeah, I think the thing to me was that like at the age I was at when I got into anime, it was very exciting to me that they sometimes said swear words and it was like a little racy sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I think I did gravitate mostly towards stuff that like, you know, stuff that was fairly lighthearted and like a little on the side of like I was a bit young for that. Cause I don't remember how old I was. I was a frighteningly young age when I first watched Panty and Stocking, like probably 15 or 16 at the oldest. And that was very... I think I watched it because there was like some clip from the dub going around and I was like, whoa, they're cussing all the time. That's crazy.
I watched a few episodes of Panty and Stocking in high school.
I got into Zero Escape itself at like 11, and oh god, like why? I did not have the brain for its narrative, yet it still gripped me.
I watched Catch 'em in Crowds when I was in high school, and it was pretty good. I liked it.
I never saw Catch 'em in Crowds. You're naming a lot of things that I know that I heard of, but I think Can I help you, Sissel?
I heard that Sissel scream. Can we get some Sissel screams in chat?
Please.
He just wants to contribute. Talk about the first anime he saw at 2 weeks old.
Has Sissel seen anime? I guess I've put Dungeon Meshi on the TV.
He's watched Ace Attorney, I think.
He is a Gumshoe fan. Because he did like stand up and look very hard at the TV when Gumshoe from Ace Attorney was on the screen. I guess we also put the Ace Attorney anime on the TV.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, yeah. Well, you said he's seen Ace Attorney, which I forgot was an anime for a period of time. His first anime then was probably Ace Attorney, now that I think of it. I haven't really like kept up with anime in a hot minute. Nothing has really like grabbed me, and I find it easier.
We should redo.
Yeah?
We should watch the Dramatic Murder English dub again.
Please. I swear we were just talking about this a couple streams ago.
Absolutely, we were.
About how it's like, if you don't want to play Dramatical Murder but you want to know what it was about, the anime is actually a startlingly good way to do that. Because it's just like all of the plot, and you can like almost see where the rest of it would go. But not really. But they also, it's like a multi-route romance VN, and they just try to put like all of the character arcs in a 12-episode anime. It's great. It's like probably like a 30 or 40 hour visual novel. I don't really know that would be the adaptation choice I would make personally, but I'm glad they did because it's kind of great.
They made it. And
it has just the dumbest dub script. The weirdest voice casting. I love it. I think it's a work of art.
Betty Sugar Ray need you, and I need you too, you selfish bitch.
It's iconic. It's iconic. And then they made like a single OVA that covered all the bad endings, which was just like... They added like this framing device where it's like anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's hard to like track down the dub online though, because it's not like
good. It's not good.
Yeah, it might be on Crunchy.
Nobody wanted to preserve this.
No, yeah, you can find the sub pretty easily. It's just like the dub is a little hard to get your hands on, which is sad because I think that's the way to experience it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's probably selling
Anyway, that's all my favorite animes, Alice. What do you think?
This concludes our anime podcast.
Yeah.
More specifically, I suppose H was a member of Free the Soul, and very committed to their cause. I'm gonna talk for another 30 minutes.
Me when I lie.
I would love, more than anything, to know what I'm supposed to take from this. Did you just hear Sissel?
Yes,
yeah.
So very big one.
He's running around being crazy.
Because I can make up a justification, but it's dumb. Like, why aren't they mutually using each other? That's so much more just clean.
They probably were just mutually using each other, but IOSYS couldn't read that from them.
IOSYS?
Yeah, IOSYS.
See, but my problem is, again, the gold files in that instance, Adrian.
Did the gold files confirm what Alice said?
Yes.
When I disagree with something in the gold files, I simply close my eyes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my counter argument.
Yeah.
And that's a fair one.
The gold files are true only when I want them to be.
Single letter in this video game because I'm me, so
Yeah, that's fair. The gold files are true when they're saying that Sigma was cursed by a cat and later uncursed by a different cat. But when they say that Hongo was a Free the Soul devotee, then they're lying.
See, because I can see the logic of like him buying into like wanting what Delta has, but that's not part of Free the Soul doctrine that you can become like me. Like, except my power makes me see how much everyone sucks. Let's be a Nazi cult about it.
Yeah.
It's like a frustrating game.
Zero Escape never.
So why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently it had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people to access what's called the morphogenetic field. I don't imagine you've ever heard of it before, so I'll try and give you a quick rundown. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousnesses of certain other people. Literally, I do not. It's so like. Why did you say that? Why did you say it if you're not gonna reckon with any of it?
Yeah. Zero Time Dilemma loved to just introduce ideas and then not go anywhere.
Aliens are real, don't even worry about it is the funniest, like, I can't even be mad because it's so funny thing about it. Aliens are real, they're not important.
There was a poll, we definitely talked about this poll before, of like a list of like which of these things did not actually happen in Zero Escape, and it was just like a list of crazy shit, and I believe the one that won the poll was aliens are confirmed real, but it has no bearing on the story. And I love that, because it's like people who played the games voted on that poll. And it's like, yeah, I understand why you forgot. They said it once.
Because why would you remember that it's the alien fuck pods unless you remember them as the alien fuck pods?
And if you're somebody who played Zero Escape, say 5 years ago, and like haven't actually gone right back to the source in a while, your immediate thought is going to be, well, that would have come up in the one that they were on the moon, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't come up in the one where they're on the moon, is the thing about it. It was unfortunately only relevant to one of the two where they were just in a fucking desert somewhere. Like, so I understand how you could forget the aliens, because if you're looking for it, you're going to be looking in the VLR box in your brain. But that's not where you should look.
Wrong box.
For aliens in Zero Escape.
To be honest, it might be simpler to just call it telepathy.
Is Area 51... Area 51's in the same desert, though, right? They're not in Area 51, but it is in the Mojave, I think. But yeah, they would say Area 51, I think, if that's where they were.
Yeah. Again, truly not relevant. The aliens left some of their math, left some of their language, left their fuck pods, and dipped.
Yeah. Yeah, it's extremely... Because it was found in Antarctica, I think? In like the 1880s or something. It was sometime in the 19th century. It was found in Antarctica, so aliens at some point came to Earth, left a bunch of their shit in Antarctica, and left? Or died?
I feel like it was implied that, like, the aliens came, like, prehistorically, and it's like, did they just get to Antarctica and were like, well, this place sucks, and leave?
Yeah, that is very possible. I'm just, it's like so hard to get my head around, like, what the ramifications of it are, because, like, the game does not fucking care.
Yeah. It's like, we need something that's crazy tech to make this timeline work.
Yeah.
Aliens.
We need crazy tech and also an excuse to bring, like, number-based systems back into play for a puzzle. fuck it, base 13.
So
That
you
was-
like, yeah, have a focus. If something isn't important, you can brush it aside. But it's like the aliens, though, to tell me about them.
Yeah, I actually do have follow-up questions. It's just, like, from the perspective of, like, Sigma and Diana, I could kind of get just being like, maybe he's just saying that, and we should just focus on the puzzle. But, like, I just at some point I would have follow-up questions, I feel like. That, divisive puzzle room, I really liked the puzzle in that room. But, a lot of people didn't. Because it is,
I
like...
think I did not because my brain isn't good.
The thing is that, like, you have to have, like, a very specific type of, like, numbers brain that you enjoy doing. Otherwise, you hate it because that is, like, it has one puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I didn't like about it is that there's a part of it where it explicitly goes against how the rules said that the numbers worked, and that bothered me. But other than that, I
I
found
liked picking up the potato chips off the floor.
That's true. Oof.
Explanation.
The SOIS.
I was about to say explanation of morphogenetic fields.
Yeah.
Yes. The SOIS had heard of this particular ability before, and had actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence.
I love that they felt the need to make a diagram to explain this, and that this is the diagram that they made.
Like,
Just because I feel like this doesn't make anything more clear than describing it with words. This
No,
visualization does not... It doesn't help.
but you see, apple and banana.
This is true.
Committed
So
serious
true.
crime.
Apple and banana did commit a serious crime.
An apple transmitted to banana that he is going to vote ally.
God.
I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul.
When I want to say orange words, but my bitch wife wants to hear blue. Exactly.
If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness that power was terrifying. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk.
Her arms are so short in this image.
Yeah. Arms are so weird. Like, when I was in a phase of, like, trying to draw every day, like, doing my best with it, I just spent so much time looking in my arms and being like, God, arms are long.
Arms don't
I
look
thought
like what you
arms-
think they do.
Yeah, I thought arms were, like, half the length of what they were, like, when I was conceptualizing a drawing. But
Mm-hmm.
no, arms are so fucking long.
They're also so much thicker than you think they are, instinctively.
Mm-hmm.
Astro!
Astro, I made the mistake again of I thought you were saying your name like a Pokemon.
See? Alice and
Christy
baby,
looks
we're
like
getting
O.
blowed up.
If we make it there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
We've been,
hey, Astro,
we've been
you
doing a
did
lot of
not
podcasting.
miss much, I can promise you.
You have missed generously 8 minutes of the game. I am not actually exaggerating really at all.
Yeah, we're being nice to ourselves, perhaps, in saying that.
Yeah.
This time, it claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. My bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she'd been a test subject in H's experiment, we knew she had the ability to access the morphogenetic field, and we wanted to put that ability to use. He was her reference.
Exactly, yeah.
After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. Why can't I talk today? Like, the Alice voice is one of the most normal, easy voices, but it's making me trip over every single word I'm saying.
The thing about it is that streaming will simply do that. Nothing will make you forget how to talk quite like being live on the air.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
She would be tasked with the infiltration and investigation of a Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hope that our investigation might also give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last, I had a chance to find out what had happened to him. I wouldn't let that chance pass me by. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. She was the pizza delivery driver, and she said the wrong order. They switched it up on her.
It really does look like a fast food uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
The lab was fake, and Clover was captured almost immediately, and then they didn't even eat the pizzas.
That's fucked up. Wow, I can't believe that. They didn't even eat them? What kind?
The true evil.
Spaghetti pizza.
Don't remind me. I'm getting flashbacks.
I got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All of the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last, in a basement room, I found her. She'd been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to him, his body was already cold. He was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned he had died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, a Myrmidon in a mask had come to visit her. He'd said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave him alone and tell her masters at the SOIS to do likewise.
I think so much about how Clover didn't even remember that Alice's father was there. Like, when you hear her talk about this, she just remembers being pathetic and having to be carried out by Alice.
Yeah.
So that probably she didn't know that was Alice's dad. She just saw, like, some guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they'd killed him. Perhaps they thought they were sending a message to me. Or that once he was gone, I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had, at least, been able to save her. I love VOR.
It's just, man.
Do you think at any point that Clover read Alice's obvious dejection over all of that as, like, being disappointed in Clover?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. 100%.
Like, especially...
I think it...
Alice probably, like... I would imagine Alice, like, getting Clover out of there probably couldn't even speak to her because there was just, like, so
silently
much.
and...
And I can really see Clover being like, God, I fucked up so bad she won't even
Internalizing
talk
that.
to me. Like...
Yeah.
Yeah. And Yeah, I love getting like multiple perspectives on the same event. It's
Like
something
Clover,
that can be done so spectacularly.
Yeah.
Clover talks about how like Alice was so cool when she pulled her out of there. Like she was so professional and stuff. Of like, she probably was just holding up a mask. And
Oh, yeah.
Clover was
Alice
also
was-
misreading that as confidence.
Whereas Alice was having the worst day of her life and was devastated inside.
Yeah.
Sometime later, I received a call from the coroner. It wasn't Luna. He told me there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on a steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted, and he just went, "Well, I am a coroner." On his arm were 2 rows of numbers, comprised of 8s and 9s. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. I feel people don't talk about that. That's so...
Yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm.
On his chest was another message. They were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice.
Man.
God. On his own chest. I broke down crying right there in the morgue.
I have committed no crimes. So true.
I need Delta. I need him just truly eviscerated down to every last atom. I have committed no crimes.
What I would give to hear those deposition records. I need to read
that's
that
the
court
reason
transcript.
Alice was one of the
Absolutely.
characters who could not come back to ZTD because like Fi lunging at him, but she just unable to be stopped like straight with her claws.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They were the first tears I'd shed since the operation had started, and there was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness. Not for the monsters who put my father through this. And if I found out some Californian dude had the chance to shoot him but didn't, I would kill him.
God. God.
Especially if he were one of my fucking Tumblr mutuals. Not for the monsters who put my father through this. They'd destroyed my family.
I love the implicit deep lore of what you've just said, Grace.
It's borrowed from Sage, in years past. Like, I think
see.
right when he played ZTD, he said because Alice and Carlos were the same age, they were definitely Tumblr mutuals. So yes, credit where credit is due. It is from Sage. I just sometimes forget. Not everyone knows everything in my brain ever. And it's like, yeah, of course they remember this post from 3 years
Yeah.
ago.
That's incredible.
Why the fuck wouldn't they? Common knowledge.
Me last week when I brought up my original timeline where Abraham Lincoln was named Hinky.
Yeah.
We've had a startling number of opportunities to reference that in the last week, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, that has come up more often than you would think.
Yeah.
I would
hitting the random on Wikipedia, hitting the random article button until I find something that I can use for my notary game. Can't wait for this to save my original timeline where Abraham Lincoln was named Hinky.
When you sent that and I saw that that was a tweet that only had 2 retweets, I lost my mind.
And I was one of the retweets.
How can that
Yeah.
be? That belongs with like ass slap puzzle.
I'm gonna
In the Hall
retweet
of
that
Fame.
post, and all of you here, you need to retweet it.
It's so good.
It's everything to me.
Sometimes I quote something from my 10th grade drama production like anyone else on planet Earth would know what I'm talking about. That's real.
I would make them pay, even if I had to die to do it. See, my fall is kind of opposite. It is very popular, but sometimes, again, earlier today, I had to bite my fucking lip to not quote an abridged series.
Oh my god.
Specifically Danganronpa, an abridged thing. I just really was compelled, and I had to really try not to.
I occasionally think back on that and wonder if... Because a lot of abridged series did not age well. I'm so curious about how that one aged, because I remember being really into it.
It aged surprisingly
I'm gonna
not
put
as
away
bad
my
as you think
plate
was our
with crumbs on it
discovery.
before Sissel tries to get at
Yeah,
it.
Sissel's really having a look.
Like, I'm not gonna say it aged amazing, but what you'd expect, it's nowhere near as bad aged as you would expect.
Yeah, I guess I do remember it being a little bit more tame, even at the time. Like, it was a little bit... It was less bad than perhaps some others.
Like Mirai Nikki abridged.
The thing about
yeah,
Danganronpa Bridge is that
no,
on
sure.
reflection, it's kind of very not funny. That checks out. They kind of had 2 jokes, from what I recall.
But again, sometimes you just get possessed by the characters 10 years later, and you have to say, well, Sumi saw Sen Naegi, and you fucking die.
Oh my
and
God.
now that's on stream, and I hate myself forever.
Sissel glared at me for a moment,
Yeah, well, he's been mad at me for, like, restraining him from...
snuggling him.
Well, I'm trying to reduce his habit of just fucking walking around on my desk whenever I'm using my computer, because it's really annoying, and I would prefer that he not do it, but I know that he wants to hang out with me, which is why he's been sitting on top of his cat tower looking very hard at me for the past while. But I'm like, you can sit in my lap or you can leave, but you may not start walking around all over my goddamn keyboard. You animal.
Aminal.
Literal. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written were latitude and longitude.
Oh, he knew she was good at maths.
Yeah.
He made sure to find a way to communicate something that she would be able to figure out very quickly that may not be immediately obvious to his captors.
Yeah.
They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building.
Oh my god. Do you think it was the same one from Somnium Files?
Oh my god. Yo, what's up with the abandoned
Lore.
chemical factories?
Uchikoshi, what happened to you in an abandoned chemical factory?
It's so specific.
Always a fucking abandoned chemical plant.
You and your fucking abandoned
Uchikoshi fell
chemical
into a vat of chemicals, and his superpower is very writing. That is very.
Yeah. Say what you will about Uchikoshi games, they sure are extremely. Some of the most video games I've ever played. I did finally finish watching that Nirvana Initiative playthrough, and
How heartbreaking was the end?
I mean, listen, their smile and optimism were gone probably halfway through. They had their 5th stream out of 15. They ended just like, you could tell they were in a bad mood because they were like upset. There was a whole bit where one of them literally was like, I want to be angry at this game, but I'm just sad. Because she was like, it would be fun if I was mad, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just sad. And like, but at least that was fairly early. Like, they kind of all were on the same page that they were hate playing it for like most of the game, so it was... They disliked a lot of the same things I disliked, so that was kind of cathartic. But...
I love you, Short One Gaming. Again, shout out to some smaller creators. Short One Gaming.
Short One Gaming, yeah. I do.
All
they have
of
some
our
really good
millions of
playthroughs.
fans should give them some support.
Yeah. They've done a bunch of games I really liked. They've also done some games I didn't like, and they were nice to those games, but that's fine.
What games?
I watched them play Doki Doki Literature Club. And they liked it a lot more than I did. But that's fine. They're allowed. I think Doki Doki Literature Club is the most impressive Renpai tech demo that has ever been made, and I think it's otherwise a bad game. But, yeah, anyway. Yeah, I really should revisit Somnium Files one of these days, so Nirvana Initiative isn't what's, like, fresh in my mind.
I'll replay Somnium Files.
I think I just, like, I never clicked with Somnium Files in the way that a lot of people did. Like, I liked it, but I kind of finished it and I didn't have, like, additional thoughts on it, really. It was one of those where I was like, it's good. It's just not, like, it never...
No worms cultivated in your brain.
Exactly. It didn't give me, like, a new disease or anything. So... But, like, I liked it fine.
Yeah, no, I definitely have some, unpopular opinions about the Somnium Files.
Yeah, I know you weren't a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
But I see some of what other people see in it.
Yeah. I think it's one of those, it's a better, like... character piece than it is a story, which is just weird for an Ichikoshi game. Like, a lot of the plot doesn't hold up to much scrutiny. But...
I thought it was kind of fun.
It's cool, it's just, like, I can't think about it too hard or I start to find problems with it. And so I don't. But...
Further investigation revealed that it was the Motherlode we'd been looking for. The headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he'd written the directions to our enemy's fortress on his own body. He'd sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness.
And then she got kidnapped.
Ugh.
This time our operation would succeed. But yeah, I really love that. Just said, like, she is fueled by this burning passion that she knows how to temper perfectly.
Yeah.
To know when to strike, to know to kindle it and wait until the moment where it's perfect.
Yeah. She's very methodical.
This time, I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any of my other agents in danger. So we took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidon stronghold. But then, on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a gas mask appeared.
Yeah, I think a lot about how, even at the end of ZTD, if they did shoot Delta, like, how much that sucks for Alice, who, like, just goes back and, like, missed her chance.
Yeah. They don't kill him specifically so Alice can kill him with her bare hands.
Like, it's just, it's... Yeah. Well, yeah, when Akane says she sends Clover and Alice back, I think she also means it even knowing what we know about the transporter machine, I just think that, like, yeah, Akane believes it. It's just that it's like, it's not what they would want.
Yeah.
But it's like, even the version of Alice that does go back is like, still everything she did was for fucking nothing, because they, like, killed the guy. Or didn't, and either of those things suck.
Yeah, that there's just all these dominoes all around her that she wasn't even allowed to see. She was this unimportant part of it that had to be scooped away to not interfere with the grand design. And that's such a deeply infuriating feeling. And that's for the one that does get the chance to go back. For the Alice that has to stay, it is unimaginably agonizing.
And she doesn't even, like, there's a chance she never finds out just how many other timelines she died in.
Yeah.
Like, how slim her chance of survival actually was, and how, you know, her gruesome death is, like, just another cog in this machine that she was made a part of without any say in anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucked to think about, and that, like, I don't think they should tell her that, because I just think it would make everything worse, but also it's like, fuck that she doesn't even know how bad it really was.
She gets no autonomy in the matter of her father's killer.
Yeah.
Torturer. Like, God.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that's so good about Zero Escape. It was like so many things. Like, the characters have such personal stories, and yet they're just scooped away by these grander designs of, no, you can have a little satisfaction. You can have some answers, maybe, but we're taking care. We're moving this along for what needs to happen for the timeline we seek.
You should be happy. This is the timeline where you get to live.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you upset?
Yeah, it's
like you got what you wanted. Again, the matters of autonomy in Zero Escape are so fucking cool to me.
Yeah. Ugh.
Because it's like the characters who strip autonomy from others, the Zeros, it's like they would argue they themselves do not have autonomy. They are doing what they saw. They are doing what is guaranteed to happen. How are they That's not an autonomous action, but how much of that is comfort to oneself? How much is like...
Yeah.
It's so good.
And I genuinely think that in the minds of the Zeros, they are just as much termites as anybody else is.
Precisely.
They had their responsibility to, you know, fulfill the role of mastermind or whatever. But, like, they, you know, as far as they're concerned, they didn't come up with the idea. It's just what they already did. Yeah, the idea of, like... On some level, they don't have agency either, but they still have more agency than the other people who have no agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all in a way that is just like, it's such a mess. I love it. So you inhaled that gas, passed out, and woke up here in the AB room?
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely have to believe that I have committed no crime. Shit will not fly.
No, absolutely not.
The game wants us to think it, I believe, however, fuck that.
Yeah, no, it's fucking ridiculous. Oh, you can't get me for anything. What are you talking about?
You're wrong.
Alice would like a word.
Well, there it is. Everything that's happened with the Myrmidons and me. I left a few of the details out, of course, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Thanks.
She gave me a sad sort of smile and stood up.
We should go back.
Not yet. Your story.
Yeah, you be.
Yeah, This is the best podcast of all time with VLR sometimes in the background. So true. We are... I mean, I would say I remember the monologues taking probably 15 to 20 minutes to get through when I played them normally. So that I would say that is 15 minutes is a fair estimate of like how much of the game we've played in 2-ish hours.
Still not good.
Yeah. Your story explained a lot, but there's still one big question.
Which is?
Who here is a Myrmidon? One of us planted the bombs. And based off the code we found, it's pretty clear that person is a Myrmidon.
Yes.
Right? And I agree that we need to figure out who they are.
What do you propose we do?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about.
You write down the word and ask them to pronounce it, and if they pronounce it wrong, they're the Myrmidon.
Could you fucking imagine? Do you have any clues?
I can just see Fi going like, yeah, obviously Myrmidon.
Yeah. She's like, what kind of question is this? It's like the old trick for finding a spy.
Separately.
It's that old trick for finding an American spy in Europe, how they gesture the number 3.
Oh.
There's like an old, I don't remember the exactness of it, but that's like an old joke about like I think it's an American spy in like Germany or Europe or whatever, who blows his cover because he holds up 3 fingers the American way, which is the index middle ring. Whereas in many other places in the world, including most of Europe, you start counting on the thumb, so you go thumb, index, middle is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Same type of thing. Do you have any clues?
Clues? Well, if I could decrypt that code, it might tell us something, but...
Thinking about them all. Yeah, that says Myrmidon, of course.
Yeah.
Myrmidon? What are you asking me? I haven't been in school in a while, you know, this isn't a nice trick. Of course, that says Myrmidon.
And then Dio does that little pose where he goes a little bit back and he has his hands up.
Yeah. How can we do that?
I told you, we need a key. Without that, it's pointless.
What's a key?
A key is a key.
I love how she says that like she's trying not to laugh at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, who do you think, you fucking idiot?
It allows you to sort of unlock a code. Myrmidons usually use this huge string of numbers as a key.
Wait. A long string of numbers? Could that be? Seven 8153610988380942419905551.
What the hell?
What the fuck?
I was almost as surprised as she was. The numbers had sort of just appeared in my mind. And I was saying them before I even knew what I was doing.
It's like automatic writing.
Alice looked at me incredulously and I stared back.
Love
Where
a good
did-
incredulously.
Incredulously is a great word.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Can you say that again?
I really love this music choice here. Really does it for me. 7815361098838094241990551.
That's 198,449,351 to the third power.
They could at
No, I'll
least put some
believe you.
commas in there.
Yeah.
What?
That number you just told me. Prime factor decomposition.
They didn't want to have to deal with the localization of putting commas in the NA version and the periods in the EU version, so...
You know what? Fair point. So they just made it wrong in both of them.
Yeah.
I guess it also makes it feels more fucked up. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, precisely.
It feels more alarming. This is one of us was about to bring up Cube because prime factor decomposition actually is a thing that they also do in Cube.
Oh my god.
As a way to... There's a number of things. They don't explain it very well. I actually think that the Japanese remake does a little bit more to explain what they're doing with prime factor decomposition later in the film. Because in the original Cube, they just sort of say the words Cartesian coordinates and then, like, move on. But, because in the film Cube, the cubes within the cube are moving around and you're able to do prime factor decomposition, I guess, to determine where their starting place was, even if it's not where they currently are. And there's also, like, a long sequence in Cube where they're just doing a lot of prime factor decomposition, and they make a point that it's, like, very, very difficult to do. Especially for really large numbers. Yeah, they don't explain the relationship between the primes and the coordinates really at all. They just kind of are like, prime numbers. That literally is what she says. She just goes, prime numbers! That's the thing she says about the traps, which makes more sense. I think it's like, if there is or isn't a prime number, there's a trap. I don't remember which one it is. But yeah, then later she's just like, it's Cartesian coordinates and permutations. And then they don't explain what that means. Like, even if you know Cartesian coordinates or permutations, they still don't explain what information that gives them. It's great. But it helps them, I guess.
Truly need to watch it with you sometime.
Cube is easily one of the films I've ever seen. It's great. One of these days, the 4-film Cube marathon. Because they put Cube 2021 on Tubi. Just for me.
Yeah.
Just specifically for me. The thing is that Uchikoshi absolutely has to have watched Cube. Like, there's basically no way he didn't. It got a Japanese remake because it's a cult classic in Japan. It's a cult classic, like, everywhere, I think. But, like, it had enough of a Japanese audience that they remade it in Japan in the last 5 years. So I'm just saying it checks out. I think the idea that Uchikoshi would have watched, like, a weird foreign horror film is not... That doesn't feel like a reach to me. But yeah, it is. They did add the remake to Tubi, the streaming service of all time, the only one that matters, the only one you need.
Shout out to Tubi, a small creator from us.
I will shill Tubi any day of the week. It has every show I've ever wanted to watch.
But not the English dub of, I've forgotten the name of the shitty VN.
Dramatical
Murder?
Dramatical Murder.
Yeah, that's true. They don't have that. They have a lot of anime on there, though. They also have the live-action Devilman movie, both subbed and dubbed, which I constantly forget because I have it on DVD anyway, but, like... It's crazy the shit they have on Tubi that is just expressly for me and nobody else, because nobody watched the live-action Devilman movie except me and my friends. Because it's not good. Except for when it is.
I gotta do a Crime Scene Kitchen rewatch.
Yeah, I really gotta immerse myself back in Crime Scene Kitchen. It sucks so much. It's so beautiful.
I fucking hate you, Joe McKay. When I left my volunteer position with the group I was volunteering with, the LGBT group, they made a little collage for me because I was there like a long time, and so the group made a little like collage for me, and they had fucking Joel McHale on it because I guess one of my personality traits to them is hating Joel McHale, and that really stuck with them.
That's incredible.
I love that for you so much.
Yeah.
You understand exactly, because I remember, because for a long time we were like, this show is never getting a season 2. First of all, it's the most, like, filmed during lockdown show ever made. And it was like, so of course they're not going to do, like, you can't make more of that show. It simply wouldn't work. But then they did, and then we were like, God, but what if they listen to feedback and they actually make the show, like, decent? What would we do then?
It worse in a lot of ways.
And and then they just like didn't fix. They like changed some things, but it was always like a lateral move. Like they never took anything and made it better.
They fixed some problems and then made new ones.
Yeah,
it's like the most they did.
Yeah, it's truly Like, and even in the fucking season 2 trailer, like Joel was like, "Hey, and if you're scared of change, don't worry, I'm still the same old Joel." And I'm like, they know.
And that was directed at us three specifically.
They know what I watched this show for.
And I know that I always love specifically having to warn people. Okay, so yeah, I will tell you, Joe McHale makes a lot of bad jokes, but when I tell you about this specific joke in the end of episode 5 or whatever, when I say bad joke, I mean something different.
Yeah.
God.
It's so... What a baffling show. Why did they
Really
make it, and
is.
then why did they make more of it?
For us.
Season 3 when? But yeah, I think it's so beautiful that they improved nothing. I think that's great. That was the thing, because we were like, they're never going to make a season 2, and if they do, they're probably going to make it better, because usually the first season of a game show sucks, and then it gets better after that, because they, like, learn.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
I love it.
They didn't learn at all, and that's so beautiful to me. I hope it gets 20 seasons and it never gets better. I do hope they
Please.
keep changing random things. Just every now and again.
Reason. That doesn't make it better, but just is change.
Yeah, I want only like lateral moves. I want them to be inexplicable. Just incredible. Watch it now on tubetv.com. You're talking about reducing an integer to a series of prime numbers that you multiply together to get it, right? Like, if you have 30, then you'd get 2 times 3 times 5, right?
Exactly. You probably learned that in junior high, right?
No.
When did I learn prime factor decomposition? I know that I did. Maybe junior high might not be that much of a reach.
Yeah, I think I'm just thinking about the big number of sheets. Whereas I'm
Yeah.
thinking you're taught like prime factors, like up to like 100 and a little bit beyond. You don't do, or again you do
Yeah.
like the 20, 48, but like even so.
Yeah. Yeah, because I definitely, like... I know I learned how to do it. I don't remember what we were applying it towards. But we definitely did have to do some prime factorization, which was just, like...
You make the number trees, and I think I just
Yeah.
don't think about it in these terms.
Because I feel like that was around the time we were learning the... I feel like we simultaneously learned, like, guess and check as, like, a method of mathematics, because that's literally the only way you can do prime factorization. We have called it prime factorization. Maybe prime factor decomposition is more correct, but either way, it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, because we also called it prime factorization, because I don't
Yeah.
think they want a bunch of middle schoolers saying prime factor decomposition.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot.
Mouthful.
Yeah. But yeah, like, because that's the only way you can do it, right? You just have to, like, guess. You have to, like, know your times tables, I guess. But, like, if you don't already... If it's outside of your times tables, then you just, like, start dividing it by shit and seeing what happens, I think. So you're saying that 198,449,351 is a prime. And if you multiply it by itself 3 times, you'd get that number? Commas. Spare comma? Spare a
Not
comma?
a single one.
Mr. Ichikoshi? Spare
Get
comma?
none. We are not well behaved enough for commas.
We don't deserve commas.
Honestly, said it as a joke, but half believe they just didn't want to deal with replacing the commas to periods.
Yeah. Yeah, but like,
They did an entire localization.
I just
I don't
like,
see why that would be where they'd say that crosses a line.
I also just
It
don't think they
crosses the
would
line.
replace them for the EU version. I think that a lot of like European English speakers are just expected to know. Do they do that in England though? Because I guess the
I'm pretty
EU
sure-
version would have predominantly how does it? I don't know that.
I feel like I see stuff from where it's like, they're decimal for like, something that costs like $5.99 is with comma, so I would believe the opposite to be true. But I don't
Okay.
know. I'm not England.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure if that was the standard in England.
Yeah, them saying all these numbers out loud, but not wanting to say GTM, CM,
Yeah.
GOLM.
It's true. They're like, oh, that's too long. That's too long, but I will say that I guess it's also true that Sigma probably didn't pronounce this one like a number because I just don't believe he would be racking his brain to mentally put those commas in either. Because he only knows it is 25 numbers.
Yes.
I'm not saying all that. I did it twice. Don't tell me you just did all that in your head.
I did do all of that.
I
in my
did do
head.
all of that in my head.
Simple mental arithmetic.
It's not.
Simple mental arithmetic.
Technically, yes, all she did was arithmetic. But also
However,
it's
simple.
a cube root, so like she would just have to know that. It's not
No,
like
she
you can't
did
do that
it.
with
She's
regular
saying.
division. She just found a cube root. Which like you just have to know. That's how those work.
No, I did it.
I guess you can still do like division, but like it just has to be that number. I love her. What? No! No way! That's impossible.
I told you. I'm better at math than most people.
Funniest line in the game.
I suppose you did say that to us.
She could do that faster than Luna.
That's not better at math.
Look at you. You just recited a huge string of numbers.
Thank you,
Not
Yubi.
the same thing.
It's 7 septillion, 815 sextillion, 361 quintillion, 98 quadrillion, 838 trillion, 94 billion, 241 million, 990,551.
Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you for writing it out in like numbers, like in
Yeah.
words.
That
Yeah,
seems pretty
thank you,
astounding,
Yubi.
too.
Cookie clicker numbers. I had the same thought. I was like, "Ah, shit, that's what my cookie clicker saves up to." I actually have two games going because I have one on my laptop and one on my desktop. Because I started one on my laptop when my desktop was in for repairs because I missed it too much.
Where did you find that number anyway?
Adrian?
I didn't know what to say.
I don't remember where my cookie clicker's at because I do ascend every couple days. But I know on my desktop I'm in like the trillions of prestige levels. So I'm working with some large numbers. But my laptop, I think I'm only in the thousands of prestige levels.
What would I tell her? That it just came to me?
Can't tell me, huh? Fine. I'm pretty sure that's the key to the code, though. I know the Myrmidons use prime factors for their keys. And there aren't a lot of 25-digit numbers that turn out to be the third power of a prime number. I think there's a very good chance that number you memorized was specifically created by someone.
I could believe her also just having a bunch of these memorized because they seem to be useful for her job.
Yeah. That's just a lot of numbers to hold in your head.
She's better at
Well, she
math
said
than most
there's-
people.
She did say there aren't a lot of numbers that like math out to that, so she may just have those specific numbers memorized.
However, it's she's claiming she did simple mental arithmetic.
I think she was
said-
bragging.
She's flexing,
Yeah, yeah. I think she's lying to Sigma because we know she loves lying.
Yeah.
But just the thing is, in her words, she did indeed say she just did that in her head.
Yeah. I guess also if they tend to use prime factors that are like the way that this code works, I guess it like memorizing a shit ton of cube roots would be useful, but also the number that she said was in the millions, which would imply that that's how many cube roots that she knows.
Yeah.
Like
She's better at math than most people.
She's better at math than most people, what can I say?
there's really no way around the fact that she's insane.
And the game wants you to know that.
Yeah. It's like no matter how you think she accomplished that, it is ridiculous and impressive.
It is inhuman.
Yeah. Could you explain that with small words? I was an English major.
Well, look at the prime factors of your number.
This is
you
why I'm like, why do
sure?
people think that Sigma studied STEM in college? He so doesn't know what's
I
going
think that's our
on.
hint for cracking the code. You still don't get it? Try to remember the code we saw in the infirmary. What did it say on the monitor?
I think the first row was...
Have fun.
So what did we say the recipe was? Coffee, quiche...
Coffee, quiche.
Java.
Java. Jalapeno but spelled wrong?
Spelled wrong.
Yeah.
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
Testosterone. Estrogen.
Yes, that's right.
Estrogen spelled the British way.
They spell it different over there?
Yeah, they spell
yeah,
it
it's like estrogen.
They say estrogen and it's spelled O-E.
What the fuck?
Well, that's because that's what it used to be, and like really, it's a Germanic root thing, I think. But yeah, because it has the
God.
OE was common to some older words. It's the same reason we have the word aesthetic, like AE. It's the same type of thing, except we retained the A.
Oh.
So a lot of English words just would have dropped that equivalent.
I had some really bad coffee yesterday, and now I think I'm realizing what caused it. I cursed this.
You did this.
I gave me and my friend the really shitty coffee that we had.
Oh my god.
I just remember one time
it
I
was
got
such bad coffee.
coffee at a train station in Philadelphia. And I took a sip of it, and I literally thought I had COVID. It was so flavorless and bad. And then, like, I had another friend try a sip, and I was like, oh no, this just sucks.
Oh my god. Exactly, Nine. It's funnier if Sigma's like a history major or something. You just had to learn all the bioengineering shit from scratch. My honest theory, I think he was an English major, and that's why, like, he was like a lit major, and that's why he knows all the like Maeterlinck stuff. Because Maeterlinck is not only responsible for the Bluebird, but also wrote a book about termites, which is a lesser known fact about him, because they don't directly make that connection in this game. But I'm on to you, Kotaro Uchikoshi.
Sigma is a Mater head.
He's literally a Maeterlinck head.
And he would have agreed with Maeterlinck and like, oh, yes, this analysis is so logical and pristinely scientific of the termite.
I truly... I need to actually read. I did read The Bluebird, which is a little hard to follow because it is like a surrealist play that's been translated from French. I liked it, though. And I have read a little bit of... I found on, I think, like, archive.org or something like that has The Life of Termites. La Vie de Termite, I think is what it's called in French. And it's just, first of all, there's like, the book is probably mostly plagiarized from other people who wrote books about termites, which is really funny because he claims that he's like, hashtag not like those other girls who wrote termite books, because they all got into
when it is the words of other termite girls.
Yeah, just incredible. Because he's like, everyone else ascribes, like, morality and human ideas and emotions to the termites, but not me, I'm different. And then you read, like, chapter 1, and he's like, the termitary is a dictatorship of darkness and hell. And it's like, what are you... Maurice, what are you talking about? What are you saying to me? But I need to read more of it to actually, like... I feel like I want to give it a fair shake. It's just funny how immediately hypocritical that part is.
On the second row.
BYOL, bring your own lettuce.
Rap.
Bring your own
Just
lettuce
a
wrap.
lettuce wrap.
Yeah.
Xylophone.
Xylophone. I can't do this.
You know.
You know.
You know. Xylophone, you know.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Xylophone again.
We don't even have all the letters of the first row. I don't think we're
Yeah.
completing this recipe, y'all.
No. This recipe sucks.
Oh man.
There's probably
Thank
a
you.
food that
I
starts
was
with
really
X.
proud of Matherhead.
I think. Then they just repeat.
Wow, you've got a pretty impressive memory. We could
I'm
really
always
use
remembering
someone like
shit.
you back at the...
You told me so much.
You did say what it's called. Well, keep going.
I love a job.
How do we decode that?
You use 198,449,351 to point you to the right letters.
I do wonder if part of the reason she stopped herself was because that seemed really forward, more so than just
Yeah.
like saying the name of the place. She was like, wait, why am I trying to recruit you for my job right now?
She's just always in that mode, and sometimes it's so hard to turn off.
Yeah. It might have been her being like, wait, this is not the time, actually.
Uh-huh. We'll talk about it over coffee later, but not this coffee, Jesus.
How do we do that?
Well, the first
Still
number is
thinking
1,
about the
so take
whole
the first letter.
quiche.
It's vile.
The next number is 9, so go 9 letters over from the first one.
9 mentioned.
Then 8 from that one.
Oh,
Just keep going until you
Sorry
see...
about the yawn.
Oh.
What's the
F,
digital root of that
F,
25-digit number?
E.
No.
I could do it if you put it in front of me.
That's, yeah, I'm gonna have to, like, cut back to the VOD and or if UB still has it written down somewhere. I don't know how many digits the 9991 lets you put in.
Makes sense?
I mean, I could do it that incredibly quick just in front of me. I do not need the 999 calculator.
That's fair. You do just have that brain. That's your inhuman math talent. Find the digital root of any number. Prime number. Oh wait, this is you.
I ran over what she said in my head with a Toyota. The prime number Alice had given me was 198449351.
Like my Toyota that got hit.
My stupid Toyota.
Imagine a timeline where Sigma goes more for genetic wibbly and name drops the SOIS when they're trying to figure out what Alice does in the infirmary. Oh my god.
7.
It's 7?
Oh
Okay.
my god, my
think.
fave.
I might have fucked up, but I'm pretty sure it's 7.
The whole number?
The 19.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, that's not the one you were talking about.
Yeah.
But I looked at a number and I was like, ooh, we were talking about me doing the number.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
one's obviously far easier.
Yes. That was still very fast for that.
I felt like I went pretty slow.
I would have to think about it longer than you did, I think.
The first letter would be C. From the top left. Then O, then M, then to P, then to L, then to E, then to T, then to E, then to D.
I do
See,
think
these
it's
are the actual ingredients of it.
yeah. I do
The
think it's
quiche
so
isn't real,
rude of
it's
them
a bluff.
to put you on this screen where they're covering part of it. I know it repeats, but it's the principle of the thing where they cover part of it and they're like, by the way, we're not going to show you this again.
Yeah.
Like, the code sheet won't be displayed when you input your answer, so it would be wise to solve it now. It's like, well, don't put a message over
you
the
can
mail.
display it, is the thing. You can make that choice.
Like, that's just all I'm saying.
Completed.
I always forget they don't let you fucking type on this port, which is
Copy.
so rude of them, honestly. Like that you can't just do keyboard inputs with your actual honest-to-God keyboard. I think it's mean. It hurts my my Zero Time Dilemma speedruns, because you have to do the fucking click keyboards. But I did it!
I did it! Yippee! Hooray!
Completed. That's it. That's the answer.
Completed?
Wow, that sucks.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I did exactly what you told me to do, and the word I got is completed. Well, actually, it's completed, completed, completed. The code and the letters repeat every 2 lines. It just repeats. What? Oh, okay, I get. That just seemed like redundant. Yeah. I now understand what he means. Like the code just the word just repeats because the code. Okay. That just felt weird.
Well, I can't remember the code like you can, but if you're certain, I believe you.
Now, if I were an evil terrorist organization, which I'm not, but if I was, I wouldn't make my passwords words personally.
Yeah, they have such a better one in their number bullshit, and like you need 2-factor authentication also.
Yeah, like I would do.
Brother is old. He hasn't figured that stuff out yet.
Oh, you're right. I'm definitely certain.
All right then. I wonder what completed is supposed to mean, though.
What? Aside from the obvious, you mean? I'm guessing here it means mission complete. So that's what the transmitter was for.
This isn't a kind of like password or anything, it's just Dio telling them completed. So I guess that's fair.
Yeah, but it had there was a key. So I feel like it's used as a password. It's weird.
It's just decoding the message he's sending them.
Yeah, but isn't that what you have to enter on the like diffusal device?
No, isn't it like different? The diffuser is like different ones for each. It's the things that shift one letter to be like my brother. Crash
Where the
keys.
fuck do you enter complete? I guess we're about to find out, but like, what do they do with this information?
They don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
In any timeline?
just
They don't
fun.
use it for anything.
Then what are we doing here?
It's
Having
just kind
fun
of to
playing with
show
toys.
bonding.
But that's like Alice being able to do that with numbers is allegedly the whole reason she's here.
It's like figuring out like the code, but like I really don't think they use
Dio.
completed for anything.
She's needed for exposing Dio, but that password is not used for anything.
Okay.
What transmitter?
Her involvement is very minimal. She's here to die and do that. I barely even heard her. Suddenly my mind is full of memories that hadn't been there a moment ago. It was like a wave had washed away the sand, revealing a bed of precious gems underneath.
I mean, he jumps back with the knowledge. Yeah, I guess my question is though, like, what was the point of solving that? As far as like, why did that have to be solved if we don't do anything with the completed?
Yeah.
That's I think where I'm lost.
Holy Father, Holy Brother, I say
Yeah.
these 2 hands, mankind is. I am your will made flesh. In your name, I give thanks.
Shut the fuck up forever.
Adrian?
Damn it! Why hadn't I realized it before? I could remember a series of numbers, but not this? At least I remembered it now. Dio is a member of the Myrmidons? Weird way of them pronouncing it. And not just any member, he was their leader. That meant he had been the one who had planted the bombs.
Hey, are you listening to me? Then answer my question. What the hell was that? What's this about a transmitter?
I didn't trust myself to explain it to her.
To try and explain
To
it.
try and explain it to her. More than likely, she'd just think I was insane.
Still you.
Even I could barely make sense of the sudden influx of new information.
Wait. Don't tell me you're one of the Myrmidons.
I would never join a group that mispronounces it like that. I'm a lead major.
If I was, do you really think I'd reveal myself like this?
Point.
Of course, out of nowhere, Clover appeared!
Oh, there you are. I've been looking all over for you.
Really?
We're all down in the Floor B warehouse. Well, all of us but
Things
Luna.
are fucking bad.
Why?
We've still got 45 minutes until the white doors open. Oh, okay. Hey. Wait a minute. I thought you, Kay, and Quark didn't know about the white doors.
Tenmyoji told us about them. He said he'd show us where they were, so we all followed him down to the Floor B warehouse.
I'm assuming you left Quark with Luna?
Wait, 9, the same key to crack what? I apparently have a very poor memory of how the, like, I guess there's a lot of passwords going on, but, like...
There are so many passwords in this game.
Yeah. That, like, because my memory was that they used something about the prime factorization key to figure out something else. Like, that was still... I could have sworn they had to enter completed somewhere to defuse the bombs.
No.
I'm pretty sure they had an initial... What I remember is that was an initial password to get into the, like, thing that diffuses the bombs, and then they had to enter the individual bomb passwords.
It could be, but I don't remember that being completed. But you could
I could
be
have
right.
sworn.
You fully could be right.
We can continue playing the game and see if
Yeah,
that answers
anyway,
it.
when we showed up, Vi and Kay were already there.
So?
Well, all of a sudden, Vi, Tenmyoji, and Dio all started yelling at each other.
The individual bomb passwords were just given to people.
Yeah, by
just say those
us
ones.
taunting them out of Dio.
Yeah. In most of them, there is the one that Zero Senior gives. What?
Why? Did something happen?
According to Clover, the last AB game had been the cause for their fight. Even though Temyoji only had 1 BP, Phi had chosen Betray. They started to fight, and since Dio had pressed Betray on behalf of his team, eventually he got dragged into it as well.
You added a lot of words there. It was just dragged in, too.
Vi only
Listen,
had 1 BP too. Her choice seems like a perfectly valid defensive move.
Ugh! Just come with me. Kay's trying to calm them down, but there's only one of him.
Okay, okay. Come on, Alice, let's go.
Coming.
Adrian?
all 4 of them were still there when we arrived. They seemed to have calmed down a bit, but the tension in the air was almost visible. I felt like I'd stepped into a room full of flammable gas. Even the smallest spark could turn the whole place into a raging inferno. Even Kay, usually so calm and collected, was standing ramrod straight with his hands balled into a fist to the side. Just the one hand.
Yeah.
The other hand is normal.
Yeah.
I looked at Alice, pursed my lips, and then headed over to the angry knot of people occupying most of the room.
That's not true at all.
This room is actually 10 feet big, and I never told you it's a 10 by 10 room.
I have to crawl into the doors. They're for mice.
Yeah, no, see, this room was actually made by the Mastermind to only be accessible to the Mastermind Quark.
Yeah, of course, of course. Clover told me what's going on. This whole thing is stupid. You need to knock it off.
Stupid? What about this is stupid? We're talking about my life, you self-righteous dick.
There.
I know! But yelling at each other isn't gonna solve your problem. The best thing for us to do right now is to trust each other and get through this. Wouldn't you agree?
Hard to trust someone who tried to kill me.
Same to you. Told you letting Dio vote was a stupid idea. What did you think he was gonna do? You might as well have pressed the button yourself.
I couldn't just leave Korg alone.
That's no excuse. And where do you get off telling me I shouldn't have picked Betray?
Did you even think that through? What? I was supposed to pick Ally? If I'd done that, I'd be dead right now.
I could say the same thing to you. Damn good thing Dio didn't choose Ally.
Please, that's enough from both of you. Cygnus
so
right.
tired.
This isn't the
Fucking
time to be bickering
stop.
with each other.
Please stop. I'm so tired.
Come on, people. Let's bring it off.
Oh, you don't get to talk. You tried to betray Clover and escape on your own.
Perhaps. But I think that's better than nearly killing someone.
Well, I only did it so that she wouldn't kill Tenmyoji.
Sure.
Very believable.
Sure.
Ah, god damn it! Enough already.
I roared with fury and my voice echoed and rebounded off the walls of the warehouse. Everyone fell silent hill. I didn't know how long
Wiki.
that silence hill would last, so I decided to put it all on the table.
I can't see I roared without thinking of my immortal. That's
Yeah.
very true. That one passage is life-changing.
There was only one way I was going to take control of this situation.
Guys, listen to me. We really don't have time for this.
I was met with a number of glares, but I soldiered on.
See, the thing is, I figured out who planted the bombs.
What? Is this what you were talking about earlier?
Sorta, yeah. I know which one of you it is.
Well, spit it out then.
Please, explain what's going on here.
I don't think I need to. They're going to admit their guilt in just a few minutes.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like right now.
You're all gonna hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Or I guess I should say, Dio's mouth.
What are you on?
Really like that he sounds nervous at first and then regains composure through the course of that laugh. That is
It's really good.
not easy to do as well as Liam O'Brien did it.
You think I set those bombs? Hey,
Yeah, I do.
If you're gonna accuse me, you better have some pretty damn good evidence, pal.
I'm not accusing you. I'm just stating a fact.
Oh yeah? Where the hell'd you get that fact?
Fun as it was, I knew taunting alone wouldn't be enough to make Dio confess. He'd just play dumb, and he was good at it, and I'd get nothing.
Sigma, you're so funny for that.
Yeah.
That meant I was going to have to trick him.
Well, you see, I'm actually from Free the Soul.
Free the Soul? What's that? Some kind of hippie shoe company?
Dio, you're so
I
funny for
hate-
that.
Don't play dumb, Dio. Or should I call you left? Brother ordered me to come here. To keep an eye on you.
It was quick, but for a moment I saw his eye twitch. I leapt on that moment of weakness like a hungry dog on a steak.
This is a little bit actually I'm Santa as far as gambits go.
Absolutely.
At least he's
I
not
love
involving
it.
someone else in this one without talking to them first, though. Fine. Skepticism is understandable. Admirable, even. But perhaps this will convince you.
I pressed forward, pulling out every fact I could remember. I told Dio about Brother's background and how his younger brother, Left, had been murdered. I mentioned casually that the Myrmidons were all clones of a single person.
I even pronounced it Myrmidon.
I even pronounced it Myrmidon.
And it hurt so much.
So? Still not convinced? How about this? Number. Do a little prime composition on that, and you'll get another number to the third power.
Yeah, like completed from what I remember isn't super useful in the actual mechanics, but it is useful for, it is here for fucking up with Dio, which is important for all of Cyan.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I could not get all of the number in time to Digito root it, but I got
Here.
as far as 4. Okay, I need to refine where I was, so it's gonna be slower.
Yeah, go for it. Sissel.
Baby!
Oh, oh my god, it's so hard to like. The 8838 makes me lose my place. I've lost my place 3 times since starting. I'm just gonna take a picture of this, then do it, so I'm not like slowing us down. Because I simply keep losing my place at
You can
the
also just pull up
8838.
your phone calculator and then just type in all of the numbers plus plus plus.
I feel like it's more
No,
matter
no,
of
the
pride.
point is I'm doing it in my head. So
Yeah.
continue.
I understand.
If I'm not who I say I am, how on earth could I possibly know that?
What? No, that's not possible.
Finally. So, let's start over, shall we? I was sent here to watch your every move. It seems our wise and noble brother doesn't trust you. He suspects betrayal.
No! You're lying!
8, I believe.
8, interesting.
Lotus moment.
Lotus moment. I assure you I'm not. But if you don't believe me, why don't you go outside and call him yourself with your transmitter?
No! No! You have to be lying! Brother trusts me! That's why he chose me for this mission! Why would he make me the leader of the Myrmidons if he...
LMAO.
Huh? Sorry, what was that?
I said, why would he have made me the leader of the Myrmidons if...
God, I'm able to stare at this really good picture of Brett I made now that I'm in my camera roll again.
Nice.
I grinned.
Wait. What the hell? Are you fucking kidding me?
Sorry, Dio. I've never even seen brother.
What the hell was all that? How did you know all those things?
Dunno. Maybe I was divinely inspired.
Give me that shit!
I will say that almost feels funnier with the Dono spelling. Mm-hmm. Something about that just being like,
Dunno.
yeah, just
Daw.
like, how the fuck did you know all that? Dono.
What's going on?
Don't worry about it, girl.
Myrmidons.
Girl.
Because I
You
do
were-
not know what a Myrmidon is. I of course know what a Myrmidon is, but a Myrmidon, what could that possibly be?
Dio and I stared. Dio and I stared at one another while Clover and Temyoji quickly explained to Phi and Kay about the memory card, the number 2 bomb, about the code we found that was from a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons.
Miss you forever, Dono. So true, Nine. Dono gone but not forgotten.
Never forgotten.
So you mean to say someone from the Myrmidons planted the bombs?
And Dio pretty much just admitted to doing it?
Yeah.
Bastards. I'll never forgive you.
I heard a low, furious muttering behind me and turned to see Alice, her lips pulled back into a snarl.
The overlay took a minute to go away.
I'm going to kill you!
Do it.
Her voice rose to a scream as she charged towards Dio. He ducked out of the way smoothly and pulled something out of his pocket.
Whoa there. I like my women a little feisty. But you're taking it a
Shut
little
up
too
and
far,
die.
sweetheart. Tone it down.
Ugh,
I hate
So-
him so much.
Jesus.
so well done.
Yeah.
God.
What?
You see this?
I,
You know what it is.
That's also how I would respond to that, to be honest.
normal
Oh,
human
yeah.
reaction to
I'm like,
being
She's
spoken to by
just
Dio.
gotten that before, and like,
Yeah.
oh, that was so real.
Yeah.
Wow, Dio's like, oh, I get to be as misogynistic as I really am now.
Yeah.
Liam O'Brien, I admire you for how real you made that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I assume you know what happens if I press this button?
Yes, I think I do. I'm guessing it'll set off both of the bombs.
Well, I wouldn't say both.
You mean there's still a number 1 bomb we haven't found?
Correct. And there's one more, too.
No. There are 4 bombs?
I don't know why the way she said that was so funny. She's like, no.
No.
Like,
Exactly.
I guess it just sounds exactly like what I do when I'm like pretending to be.
Shocked?
Yeah, just like,
Uh-huh.
no.
I've planted 4 bombs. They're the ones numbered 1, 2, and 3, but there's also one more. Bomb number 0. Add all
That's
that up, and you're
fucking
looking at about 4
stupid.
tons of explosive power.
It's like that trick where the prank where you release 2 pigs numbered 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Or like 1,
One and
3,
three.
and 4. Yeah, so everyone looks around for 2.
Those go off, and it's all over. That's enough oomph to turn this whole place into a smoking crater. Aren't you forgetting
That's a pretty big baby.
That'd kill you too.
So, I'm ready for that. I've got spares.
Spares? Is that what Sigma was talking about?
Fucked up thing to have Kay say. I know it's Akane, but
Yeah.
still.
Even so.
Yeah, clones.
Adrian?
I heard Alice whisper something to Clover.
Let's go, Clover. Show him all that training wasn't for nothing.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Right.
Before I had a chance to ask them what was going on, they moved.
In every different angle of this room I get, I think about they were taking up most of the room.
I think I understand what they meant by that, but also
It's amazing.
yeah. I think by room they meant all the people in the room, in the sense that pretty much everyone in the room was involved in the angry knot or whatever they called it.
Mm-hmm.
But like yeah, what they said was that like 7 people took up this whole room.
Mm-hmm.
Me. She roared and leapt toward Dio, Clover following just behind. Alice threw a punch at Dio's face as he dodged. Clover spun out from behind her. Dio grunted and turned to focus on Alice, but Clover darted in and snatched the detonator away from his hand.
Clover, get him!
Right! Sigma!
Clover, kill!
Huh?
Before I could respond, Clover had thrown the detonator at me. I scrambled to grab it out of the air and held it to my chest.
Damn it! Stop! Let me go! Still let go of me, you asshole!
Yelling didn't do him any good, and Dio found himself subdued by the skillful teamwork of Alice and Clover. Strangely, though, once they had a hold of him, he stopped struggling. I was reminded of a gazelle with its neck in the mouth of a lion. Had he surrendered? Or did he have some other trick up his sleeve? It didn't feel right. I didn't have to wait long for my misgivings to prove true. The detonator in my hand suddenly began to flash.
What?
Ha! Serves you right.
What are you laughing at?
They made him the leader of the Myrmidons because out of all the clones in his generation, he had the best evil laugh.
So true.
You, her, all of you. God, you're stupid.
What? Why?
See that detonator you threw to Sigma? You activated it. If it gets more than a meter away from me, it sets itself off. We figured someone might try to take it
but
away.
is this an
so we put in a
elevator
little
meter or a
safeguard.
normal meter?
Since you two were kind enough to take it away from me, the bombs have gone from remote control.
Love the idea of introducing that as a new unit of measurement, just whatever the fuck they were using to measure those elevators.
Yeah.
Go ahead and destroy the detonator if you want. Won't make any difference now. The bombs are gonna go off no matter what.
How long do we have?
About 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Oh no.
My condolences.
But what can we do to stop them?
I told you that already. First, we need the device that allows us to input information. Then we plug it into each bomb and enter the
Hey Alice, who the hell are you? How do you know all this?
None of your damn business. Just tell me where the input device is.
Well, that's none of your damn business.
Yeah, again, simply would not be like this.
What?
In what way?
I couldn't hear you over the sound of Dio screaming.
I simply would not be sarcastic with the person who has my arm in this position.
Yeah.
But of
Yeah.
course, he is Dio.
Wouldn't you like to know, termite boy?
Of course. That's the plan.
That's the idea.
That's the idea.
I need to watch Devilman again.
Yeah, same.
Please, stop!
It's only responsible for like a third of my vocabulary.
Just tell me what I want to know.
Ha, you can't make me stop. Ow, owie, stop, I was kidding.
Okay, I'll tell you. It's in my coat. The right-hand pocket.
Like, I'm in so much pain. Just fucking kill me so you don't torture me anymore.
Right.
Adrian?
She nodded and started digging through his pockets. After a few minutes...
Why are you so mean to me?
There's nothing here.
Did you lie to me?
No, I swear, keep looking.
Oh, wait. There is something in here.
Clover pulled her hand from his pocket and held it out.
A single loose ibuprofen.
One of those little things you put into water and it grows into a dinosaur?
Yeah. Is that a pill? Like, for medicine?
Hey, what is this?
Huh?
They clearly didn't take his pocket dirt.
Yeah, what the hell?
Bring it over here.
Clover frowned and moved closer to Dio, holding the pill out toward him.
He ate it like a horse.
Suddenly, he moved his right hand. Snaking out to grab the pill from Clover's hand. Before anyone could react, he shoved it into his mouth.
Drop it!
What do you have?
Yeah.
I heard a tiny crack as he bit down on it.
I hope that was one of his teeth and not the pill.
He almost immediately grimaced in pain.
Is cyanide painful? What does it do? Kills you, I know.
Yeah,
but, like...
it doesn't. It's not. I don't think it's that instant.
Well, that, yeah. Maybe he did crack one of his teeth.
1 second, I'll look up how fast the cyanide pill kills.
That was the nickel! Ow! Oh! Ah!
What manner of poison is cyanide also? Like, what is it? How does it kill you? I guess is my question.
I'll just look. How does the cyanide pill work?
Can't wait for Google to give you hotline
like
numbers
a
again.
paralytic for the lungs.
If you try to do any sort of research on cyanide, Google is like starts just serving you suicide hotlines.
Yourself.
Which I understand, but is a bit funny when you're doing it for research purposes. Cardiac arrest.
Neo,
and
that's
seizures,
exactly
the
what I
length of time it
imagine
takes
every time.
for cyanide to kill a person ranges from around 2 to 5 minutes, and during this time frame, they're fully conscious and experience every bit of the chemical's effects.
Okay.
Hmm.
Does it say anything about the onset of effects, I guess?
Well, a person does lethal dose of cyanide, the body cells suddenly stop producing ATP, which is a source of energy used by the body to perform natural functions.
Okay, so just like shuts down your organs.
Yeah. Famously fast-acting poison due to its ability to induce extreme chemical suffocation of cells and to disrupt enzymatic processes.
Huh. So yeah, cardiac arrest would probably be
crunching definitely fits given this image of cyanide capsule.
That is a typical. Wow, that looks a lot like this. Yeah, because I think the idea is it's not like a regular pill capsule. You're supposed to be able to just keep it in your mouth, and then crack it when you need to, and that's like instant release, basically. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it makes sense that cardiac arrest would be the thing that kills you, because that is, I think, the organ that will kill you the fastest if it stopped right away.
Yeah, here's a general overview of how cyanide capsules work. Cyanide is a poison, blah, blah, blah. Inhibition of enzymes, cellular respiration disruption, cellular asphyxiation, rapid onset of symptoms, chemical form.
Mm-hmm. So 2 to 5 minutes, that's wild. Now that's fast. Maybe that's why Ace Attorney said that 15 minutes was like absurdly slow, because their only frame of reference was cyanide.
Cyanide,
which is famously like the fastest one.
Potassium cyanide and regular cyanide.
Yeah.
Potassium cyanide, which just kills you instantly.
Really?
Yeah. Let me just look that up again.
It's same general thing, I guess.
Potassium cyanide speed. Oh, just Well, things are showing up differently for me now than from when I remember looking it up. But like, I think potassium cyanide can kill you pretty fast.
Okay, I believe you.
Shit!
What? What was that?
Poison, I guess.
What? Damn! How could I be so stupid?
Cool dying.
Yeah.
His eyes rolled up into his head, and flecks of spittle began to trickle out from the corners of his mouth.
Spittle feels like a rare word. Not a lot of people are calling it spittle these days.
I grabbed him by the hair and shook.
Because of the woke laugh.
Yeah!
Because of woke.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing? Where's the input device?
Lost it. In my couch. Back home.
Don't screw with me.
Fine. Don't tell us. How about you give us the deactivation codes instead?
Deactivation? You guys are persistent. Fine. Not gonna do you much good anyway. I'll tell you. But you only get one. And this is the deactivation code for Bomb 3. Ready? LXQ LHC.
So that's my brother. Oh no.
This one's Myrmidon's, I think.
Okay. See, because I saw the my, so it was like, oh yeah, obviously gonna be my brother, but it just happens that two of them start with my.
Yeah, I think it's LXA. Q. It's.
I look like a fucking fool.
Yeah, you've really posted cringe in our stream.
Yeah, I'll leave.
I think we've gotten the My Brother one before, and I think we also were like, oh, is that the Myrmidons one?
Mm-hmm.
So we're 0 for 2. What about the other 3? Tell us the other 3.
We're really gonna have crash keys down, though.
Yeah. Yeah, we've gotten, what, 3 out of 4 at this point? I think? We got the one from Mr. Termites, we got the one from Dio End, and now we have this one.
I think you get the last one in Phi End.
Okay, that checks out.
My body will be a part of the foundation of...
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that the one password changes, and I was like, which one? But yeah, it is because the clay doll thing doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Didn't re-record the Japanese audio. Yeah, I guess that checks out too. So it messes with some people that the text and audio differ. Huh. Yeah, because it's kureidoru, so it sounds like cradle. Which is pretty good, and I don't fault them for not being able to
figure out something for English.
Yeah, because I think I remember reading some sort of interview or article on like why that was, and like it's because doll doesn't carry the exact same connotation in English and Japanese, and so it like wouldn't have really worked in the same way.
Mm-hmm. This is just my guess. I don't like remember like from looking at this stuff, but would like doll have more of a puppet connotation in Japanese, and that's what they were going for, or something else?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was meant to be. It was meant to read more like puppet or something similar to that, in being like an extension of the the mastermind basically. Yeah. Which is why they went with Myrmidons, because it's like they're like his soldiers. I think that's actually the same interview where they talked about how the localization team at Axis had a lot of communication with Uchikoshi, because I think that they did say that was one of the things that there was like pretty extensive back and forth about what they wanted to do about that. So it's an interesting one. There's some parts in 999 where the Japanese is re-recorded to match if you're playing in English. Huh.
That's dedication.
Yeah, because I do know that the Nonary games changed the note. They're like reading a note rather than Zero saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
His voice was weak, and more foam was dribbling out of his mouth.
I love a good dribble.
Beautiful.
Spittle, dribble, great words.
May brother live in everlasting glory.
Okay, bye. Adrian?
Those were the last words Dio spoke. He died with a strange, happy smile.
How much game we got till we get blown up?
I don't think it's too much.
Okay.
It's just, I think it's basically just talks about them running around and then
explode.
Yeah, I figure we can play till we get blown up and then resume. Hi! Damn.
He only gave us the password for one of the bombs. This is bad. What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
How much time have we got?
Sissel, I know you are overdue for dinner. I'm sorry. Can you wait, please?
We just gotta get blowed up.
Yeah, can you wait for us to explode first?
25 minutes.
Our main goal is to blow up.
Are you sure?
Yes. When he told us the time, I checked my bracelet. It said exactly 30 minutes.
You mean the bombs are gonna go off the same time the next set of doors opens?
Yes. The time on your bracelet is the time we have left.
Oh.
Ooh.
So, 25 minutes.
This isn't good. I was hoping that we might be able to escape through the white doors, but...
It takes 5 minutes for the primary door to open and close, so...
Yes, I know. There's no way we can get through them before the explosion happens.
Man.
Oh, they cross their arms opposite ways. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I just noticed that, because Alice goes left hand in front, and Clover goes right arm in front. Of course, Alice is not doing, like, she's doing a different type of cross, because she's literally just layering one arm over the other. It's just interesting.
Well, there's no
Really,
point
like,
just standing
where's
around.
the best place to go? Like, I wouldn't know. I might just go right up to a bomb, like...
Yeah.
We should start looking. We need 3 things. The password input device.
And the remaining 2 bombs, right?
Right.
We also need passwords for all the bombs other than number 3.
Exactly.
Don't even worry about it. Maybe Dio has a note or something?
Hold on. Let me check.
She knelt down, quickly checked his pockets and sleeves, then sat back on her heels, frustrated.
Damn. He's clean.
Then we'll just have to hope we find it somewhere. Tenmyoji, can you go tell Luna what's happened?
Right, I'm on it.
Good. The rest of you, let's move out. We can do this. Let's go.
We all took off at a run, heading to a different parts of the building. But all of our searching turned up nothing. And as we searched, the clock kept ticking.
This is so good.
It's really... I do love how they do that.
I just love the bomb sequences.
Yeah.
Then at last, the chromatic doors opened.
Chromatic doors have opened.
That's like the game marches on around it. Like,
Yeah. There's something so cold about that.
5
Exactly.
minutes remain until chromatic door.
Sorry, ma'am. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Our time had run out. We watched the white doors open. Were they doors to heaven or to hell? The thought barely had time to flutter through my mind before everything went white. We didn't even have time to say goodbye.
Oh my god.
1,000 emotions flooded my brain in those last moments. Why? How? How had we ended up this way? Then a blistering wave of heat, like the surface of the sun itself, wiped out any lingering thoughts.
It's a really good delivery, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. My conscious lips slipped away into a boundless pool of darkness. Neither heaven nor hell, only the void.
Again, underappreciated part is just all of these sequences. I love them a lot.
Yeah. I really like that he says here, like, there wasn't even time to say goodbye. Just, like, because there is an ending where they do die and they do get to say goodbye. Because, like, Fi is like, listen, we're fucked. Can you just give me a hug? Like,
Yeah.
one more time?
And then in Sigma End, when it's with Luna,
Yeah.
and it's Luna is so scary.
Yeah.
Because with Luna at the end of Sigma End is so good, because she's like, I'll be waiting.
Yeah.
I always love voice acting that shit. Like, every time I get to voice act it, I adore it.
I love Luna.
I love Luna.
Luna is so good. Luna is so
This
good.
may be controversial, but I really like Luna.
Yeah. The people will have your head for saying that. Zero Escape fans all hate Luna.
Yeah, no one likes Luna.
Yeah. I bet there are
But-
Luna haters, just statistically.
Hmm.
Or at least there were, maybe like when it was like slightly, when there was more active. I guess there's like getting to be more Zero Escape fans now, but it's like a different type.
Yeah, for
Back in
sure.
the day when
the
misogyny
fan
was
culture
more,
feels
like,
so
a-
different.
Yeah.
When misogyny was like more of a norm in fandom spaces.
Yeah. I feel like there must have been some sort of Luna hate.
I
But
can
yeah, that's
imagine people
very
calling her useless.
observable.
Hi, Sissel. He's being a baby. Hey, Sissel, can you not try to play with the cable spaghetti? I know.
Did you all hear that Sissel noise?
It was pretty small.
I sadly didn't, because I get even less than the people on Twitch.
You feel like Luna kind of escaped it, but maybe because she's easily dismissed as just sweet and boring, but maybe you dismissed it. Yeah, that's... Only time I can really see anyone hate on Luna is like she seems too pure, there must be a twist or something. Yeah, I could see Luna just... Because Luna's kind of like unassuming the first time you play the game, at least she was to me. Just because like they don't... I think they were smart not to put you around her more often.
You are with her often. She lacks presence.
Yeah.
Like she like aside from Fi, she goes through the second most doors with Sigma.
Yeah. They put you around her often enough that you don't do the thing that I did when I was playing 999 and go, I think there's something up with Ace because they've been keeping us away from him. Just because, like, yeah. Because I did have that thought my first run through of 999, because you asked me, like, partway through that, you were like, so what do you think of everybody? And the first thing I said was, like, I think Ace is hiding something, or I think there's going to be something with him.
That's really good, like, a meta look. I love when people look at shit like that.
Yeah, because I was just like, I'm weirdly deep into the game not to know anything about him. Makes you think. Which is, it is fun that they purposely, you can't go into a room with him until the third round.
But yeah, what a good podcast, y'all. I loved this so much. I love yapping, and I fucking love the bomb shit. I think it's so interestingly done, and I love thinking about, like, all the characters' positions in it, obviously, because it was my first published fic. But yeah, it's just really good.
Yeah, this is a real fun one. I love talking for 20 minutes about anime, and you know, it's a good
While
time.
being stared at by Gentaro Hongo.
Yeah, exactly. The under the cold gaze of Cradle CEO
I'm a
Gentaro
cold
Hongo.
gay right now.
What?
I'm just really cold, so I muttered some bullshit. I said I'm a cold gaze right now because I'm really cold.
I see. Get a blanket or another layer of clothing.
I will
Get
very
banky.
soon.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for coming by. We got an ending, which is a huge success. We're gonna start getting endings faster pretty soon, I think.
Oh, very much so.
Because I know Alice is a prerequisite for like a few. So that's exciting. This is like kind of when a lot of it starts to like cascade into the end game, sort of.
We're gonna be able to get Sigma. We're getting Sigma End next week, or at least we're making progress into Sigma End.
Come hands.
And then we're gonna be able to go back and get Kark End.
Hell yeah. Will be the
Yay.
end.
I love Kark.
Quonk.
Squonk.
God.
The squonk.
Always saying this and won't linger in because we are wrapping up, but truly, they must get their name misheard as Clark every day and hate it so much.
Yeah.
Cork.
Quack end. Exactly.
Quack. Ew, duckling.
Quick end, because it's really fast.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, no. Well, gamers, we'll be back next week with more of something, depending on whether I'm able to fix my download of Ebe. If not, I might have I might have ideas, but we're gonna figure it out.
Awogue?
Well, so for other reasons, I downloaded, like, the original version of Ebe, so I guess our worst case is we can play the old one.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to play the new one, because I think it has more endings, and we still haven't seen some of them, but
yeah,
we're gonna
Plus we
find
also
out.
have our progress on that one, on modern.
Well, yes. We're gonna see. But I could just, like, play some of it off stream.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we'll see. I will try to figure it out. But yeah, and then we'll be back with more of this shit next week, unless I've forgotten something. But until then, my friends...
If there's anything that could cause problems, it's the fact that I'll be entering finals week.
Oh god. Yeah.
So,
keep me posted.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Until then, my friends...
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one, guys.